Good day, everyone. I am Remy Sidwigan, a BS in English 2, and I am going to discuss to you about the interlanguage. So, an interlanguage is an ideolect that has been developed by a learner of a second language which preserves some features of their first language and can also overgeneralize from L2 writing and speaking rules. These two characteristics of an interlanguage result in a system's unique linguistic organization. This term is coined by an American linguist, Larry Selinker. According to him, interlanguage is a mental system of L2 knowledge. L2 acquisition entails a continuum of evolving system which included the following premises. The first one is the learner constructs a system of abstract linguistic rules, which underlies comprehension and production of the L2. The second one is the learner's grammar is permeable. Number 3, the learner's grammar is transitional. Number 4, some researchers have claimed that the system's learner construct contain variable rules. So the fifth one is learners employ various learning strategies to develop their interlanguages. Number 6 is the learner's grammar is likely to fossilize. Theoretically speaking, an interlanguage is verbosely explained in the theories of the behaviorist learning theory, mentalist learning theory, and an interlanguage as a metaphor of the computer. So according to the behaviorist theory, learning is like any other kind of learning, in that it involves habit formation. All behaviors, including the kind of complex behaviors found in language acquisition, could be explained in terms of habits. The mentalist learning theory postulates the concept of interlanguage, which drew directly on the theory of L1 acquisition, where only human beings are capable of learning and that the human mind is equipped with the faculty for learning language. The language acquisition device, consequently the interlanguage is a metaphor of the computer, implies that human mind functions like a computer. Social aspects of interlanguage L2 acquisition can be viewed as a long-term convergence towards the native speaker noise. Divergence, the process by which speakers make their speech different from their interlocutor speech. Elaine Theron argued that learners develop a capability of the L2 and this underlied a regular language behavior under the interlanguage and stylistic continuum. In the other phase of the interlanguage and acculturation, Jan Schumann proposed that pigeonization in L2 acquisition has a very simple language that was used by learners to construct other people. They failed to acculturate to the target language group because of the inability of unwillingness to adapt to a new culture. Boniface, in his Interlanguage and Social Identity and Investment, that the language learners have complex social identity that can only be understood in terms of the power relations that shape social structures. A learner's social identity is also multiple and contradictory. Learning is successful when learners are able to sum up or construct an identity that enables them to impose their right to be heard. Discourse aspects of interlanguage according to Prussian L2 acquisition depends on comprehensible input, while Michael Long's interaction hypothesis also emphasizes the importance of comprehensible input but claims that it is most effective when it is most modified through the negotiation of meaning. Psycholinguistic aspects of interlanguage. Psycholinguistic is the study of mental structures and processes involved in the acquisition and use of language. The issues under this topic includes the L2 transfer rule of consciousness, processing operations, and communication strategies. There are 3 viewpoints of the role of L1 which are exemplified under the behaviorist, mentalist, and cognitive views. Personalities under these observations included Larry Selinker, Eric Killerman, and other psycholinguists. On the issue of role of consciousness, the 2 viewpoints of Prussians and are very popular. Cashin argued that need to distinguish acquired L2 language learners. He also pointed out that the term consciousness was often used very loosely in SLA. He argued that learning cannot take place without the goals noticing the process of attending consciousness to linguistic features in the input. On the topics on processing operations, there are operating principles as well as processing constraints. Roger Anderson described a number of operating principles for L2 acquisition and claimed that his principles are macro principles. In the processing constraints, there was a project known as ZISA, which investigated the order in which migrant workers and Romance language background acquired a number of German word order rules and has found clear evidence of a developmental route. On the communication strategies issue, Furch, Kasper, and Sonnenker were the popular psycholinguists in the interlanguage. Linguistic aspects of the interlanguage, the linguistic difference influences the ease with which learners are able to learn relative clauses. Learners whose L1 includes relative clauses find them easier to learn than learners whose L1 does not, and consequently they are less likely to avoid learning them.